All right, welcome to the first Speakin Spring of 2026 with Penahatchee Productions. This is kind of going to be an introductory podcast, if you will, for the season. This is our third year doing these now. Something that Will and I enjoy doing. Both of us, we enjoy doing a lot. We got a couple things to go over here today, and then we're going to jump into some topics in which we have not discussed on any of the Speakin Springs before. That's kind of a thing we're trying to do, is to talk about newer topics and things that are, in the industry nowadays, that are, talked about a little more. So we're going to go over some of those things. Currently filming this in December. I have the day off. It's pretty nasty outside, cold and rainy, just one of those days that you really can't get much done outside. So I'm off. Will's at work. That's why he's not in this. We kind of discussed that I'd go ahead and film this now. I don't know when this will be released, if it will be released in 2026 or into the later parts of 25. Again, it is December when I'm filming this, but nonetheless, we want to go ahead and get it started. We want to produce, more of these than we did last year. I think we only did 3 of these last year, whereas the year before we did 5 or 6. But we want to produce more of these this year. We love talking turkey. That's what the point of the Speakin Spring podcast series is just to talk turkey hunting. This is the time of year. Now until March or in April, I will be listening to podcasts, whether Spring Legion or the NWTF podcast or some of the old Primos podcasts, whatever it is. I'll start listening to these podcasts this time of year all the way till turkey season. It's just something I love to do. It's kind of a tradition almost to get excited for the upcoming turkey season and to hear people talk turkey. I don't think there's anything better than passionate turkey hunters discussing ways of turkey hunters. So yeah, man, we're excited for spring of 26. Like I said, we got about 4.5 months until our season. When we're filming this, it won't be too much longer, really. We've kind of made that turn. Again, 2026 is literally right around the corner in a few days. So we've kind of made that turn, and we're looking. Our eyes are now on turkey season. So I don't think I'm pretty positive we did not film a podcast at the end of the season last year like we did previously. But in today's episode, we're going to cover kind of some 2025 stuff of what happened, kind of give a little recap, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it throughout this Speakin Spring episodes. But kind of dive into 2025. I think we released 10 videos. We probably had enough for 12, and I'll kind of dive into that later as to why that didn't occur. I think we had 10 videos. I want to say 8 of those 10, or maybe 7 of those 10 were kills. We had an amazing season last year, and all that credit and praise goes to God. I don't want to, sound boisterous when I say that. But man, we had a great season, a fortunate season. One of the better seasons Will and I have ever had, if not the best. I think combined, Will and I watched 8 turkeys die last year, which is in one state, pretty good. We had between me, and again, this isn't something to be boisterous. I'm just kind of going over information so we have it. I ended up tagging out. Mr. Randy tagged out. Drew tagged out. And Dee Dee tagged out. We were able to watch him kill one of his birds. And including on these episodes, we kind of go from start to finish. In the youth episode, we had Isaac on the channel who killed his first ever bird. We got that on film. Incredible day, incredible morning. It was on a Sunday morning. Just absolutely a wonderful experience for Isaac and for us. That meant the world to Will and I. We also had Neil on that youth season, the first youth season of South Carolina. And again, you're kind of talking about all the people we hunted with. We hunted with Dalton opening weekend. Dalton, we love Dalton to death. Dalton's had a rough time turkey hunting. If you don't recollect, Dalton was the one in 2024 that missed turkeys in back-to-back days. That we were kind of set up through guiding, and we're now really good friends with Dalton. We talk to Dalton pretty often. Dalton has killed, I think, 2, if not 3, huge deer this year up where he's at in the state of South Carolina. So congratulations to him. And then we hunted with Drew some, and Will and him were able to pull a double, one of which was a triple beard. One of the birds were triple beard, which is where the title of the episode, I think it's episode 3. I don't want to for sure say that, but it was the title of triple double, which is where that comes from. Obviously, the basketball reference of a triple double. It was a triple bearded turkey in a double, so we called it the triple double. And then I'm trying to think, I gotta remember the timeline here. Matter of fact, let me pull it up right here so I can be accurate. Actually, but I mean, just again, we hunted with so many new people. We had such a great time. Hang on, YouTube's wanting to play here. We had such a fabulous time with all these wonderful people that we were able to meet, those of which we've known before and we were able to turkey hunt with, such as, for example, we've never hunted with Mr. D.D. Garvin, and that turned out to be one of the best experiences of Will and I's lifetime, and one that we will certainly be diving into, because that is by far the most meaningful turkey hunt of our lives, and I don't know if it'd ever be topped. So here, in episode 2, it was the triple double. Episode 3, I was able to kill a bird. It didn't happen the way we planned. Really and truly, it was an unfortunate event where I shot the turkey. Wasn't out of range. I just made a poor shot, and the turkey ended up running, and I had to chase the turkey, and ended up luckily getting it. But it was one of those things where it left a sore taste in my mouth, so I wasn't really able to enjoy the bird as much. I gave thanks to the bird, of course, but it really hurt my heart to see that happen. And then in episode 4, we had some good footage, but then in 5, Andrew was able to tag out and kill his second bird of the year. Just an absolute beautiful bird coming by itself. Episode 6, Mr. Randy, who we turkey hunted with last year a good bit, or in 24 a good bit, we got with in 2025 again, who Will and I continue to say is the best turkey hunter in our area. He's literally a local legend among our area. If you mention turkey hunting and Randy Rhymes, everybody knows who you're talking about. So, in this episode, he killed an absolute just hoss of a turkey, had 1.5 inch spurs, and it was his first bird of the year. He had a tough season up to that point, so it was cool to be able to get him his first bird. Will and I were able to call it in for him. Episode 7, we don't get a kill in this video, but it's some of the coolest video footage we've ever had. We had a hen gobbling, and we called in several jakes, but this hen come behind us and started gobbling and cutting and losing her mind, so it was great footage. Episode 8, I tagged out on my last bird. We'll jump into more of these detailed stories later on. Episode 9, we killed that double literally right off the limb. These birds pitched into this cutover, and within 2 minutes they were dead. Like, it was by far one of the most insane turkey hunts. And again, we got to see Mr. Randy and Mr. D.D. Garvin, who are absolute legends of our area. Mr. D.D. worked with NWTF for a long time, and to watch them two pull off a double was just absolutely incredible. And Mr. D.D. got choked up several times talking about it. It was just such a humbling, unique experience. It gave Will and I a lot of perspective about what we're doing. And, when I say perspective about what we're doing, we're going to dive into what this channel's purpose is, because everything has a purpose in life, and we want to make sure that our purpose is clear. And then on episode 10, we almost filled Will's last tag of the year. It was the last day, come down to the wire. We weren't able to get it done, but it was certainly an amazing end to our season. Now, I said we had enough for 11 and 12 episodes, and I don't think we have discussed this, so I want to talk about it. The weekend of South Carolina U's second season, which would have been like May the 6th, something like that, somewhere along in there. Or somewhere along in there. I'm not positive on that. No, okay. I mean, it's coming back to me now, so I apologize. The last day of Georgia's turkey season, so it would have been May 15th, I believe, or May 10th, one of the two. I don't know the for sure date. I went to Georgia. I drove about an hour and a half, 2 hours across the line, and went and hunted some private land that we got a connection through. And this place had turkeys, but I got the short end of the stick. The weather had been poor that weekend before, and there had been a lot of wind and stuff, and it knocked down some trees, and it was super thick, and it was still very humid and everything. I want to say I went on a Monday or a Tuesday, and I'm not positive of that, but nonetheless, these birds were tight-lipped as can be. Never heard a gobble. I sat there for a while, called off the limb, nothing. When I got up, I actually had a hen come into where I was calling from. Watched her for a while, got footage of her. And trying to think. And then I was looking in this cow pasture on this property, and I saw a bird out there by itself. I would assume it was a longbeard, looked like one. Tried to make a move on him, got around him, called, never heard him. Went back and looked in the field, and he wasn't there. I did set up on this bird for an hour and a half, no luck. So I hunted pretty much all day in Georgia with no luck. So that was my first kind of out-of-state hunting experience, if you will. We've talked about doing it a lot, which we're going to dive into in today's episode as well. But it was, again, 2025 was just such a special season. I don't know if we will ever top that, especially the way in which turkeys are headed now with population decline and everything, and hunter effort continuing to increase. I don't know if we'll ever see a season like that again. And Will and I are extremely grateful and blessed for the opportunity in which we've had. It was, all I can say is just a fabulous turkey season. 2025 was absolutely spectacular for Will and I. And again, just such a blessing that we were able to do. Sorry for the crinkling noise. Looking at my notes here. So again, it's kind of the recap of 2025, and again, all throughout these next few episodes in Speakin Spring leading up to whenever we turkey hunt for the first time, whether that be early in March or in April, we will kind of discuss all these episodes and hopefully get some guests on here to talk with us as well. Pretty sure I mentioned everyone we turkey hunted with. If I left someone out, I apologize. And that's another thing. We hunted some public ground this year, and it did not go our way. We went and hunted one of the bigger WMAs in the state, and there was tracks, there was a lot of hunters, and there was a lot of non-gobbling. We didn't hear nothing. So, and there's some things in here I want to talk about as well, that I saw that I kind of raised an eye to me. I'm glad I thought of it. I'll put that in my notes to talk about here at the end. So let's kind of transition to talking about 2026 plans. Now, let me go ahead and state this. We have loosely planned some things, and when I say loosely, I mean early stages. These are literally just throwing some things out here. In the past few years, we've had plans fall through like literally every single year. Now, last year was the first year in a few years we had not planned to go to South Florida. We didn't even attempt to do anything with it. We hunted our season, had a great season, then I went to Georgia at the end of the year for a day, had no luck. So here in December, Will and I are kind of sitting down now and trying to get an understanding of what we want to do, putting money aside, thinking about costs, licenses, whatever it may be, and we put down some states in which we'd like to visit within the next few years. Now, this isn't all going to happen this year. These are just states in which I've put down that seem reasonable, and again, I'm not saying these are all within, comfortable driving distance of us. Some of these are farther than others, and I'll kind of explain that. So right now on here that we are looking at for this season, we have Alabama, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Maine, Michigan, Mississippi, Nebraska, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas. Those are just kind of states in which we're looking at for 2026. Now, again, we are not going to go to all of these. We may not go to any of them. These are early stages. These are just states in which we're looking at now, doing some research into. Obviously the one that sticks out to me that we want to do, we've been wanting to do is Florida. So if we can get a good Florida plan together, we'd like to do that. We do want to try to hunt another subspecies this year. Now, whether that's the Osceola, of course, or we go down to Oklahoma or Texas to hunt a Rio, hunt public land down there, or Northwest Nebraska. Now, again, Northwest Nebraska is one of those far-fetched ideas. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. It's pretty unlikely, but again, some of these are not that crazy of a far-fetched idea. Kentucky isn't bad. We've done a lot of research into Pennsylvania because their all-day season is May 20th to May 31st. So we have done a lot of looking into Pennsylvania as well as Tennessee, whose season ends May 25th. So again, none of these things are set in stone. These are just things in which we're looking at, trying to get an idea of what we may want to look towards for 2026. Speaking of 2026, I want to talk briefly about the NWTF convention. Will and I are talking and discussing about going to the convention. Now, again, this isn't set in stone, but we do want to go. We've been wanting to go now really for our whole life. We've just really never sat down and said, all right, let's make this trip to Nashville and let's do it. So we're looking at going for a few days, and per of advisement from Will, Dee Dee, Randy, and some other people we turkey hunt with, I have been kind of, I guess, told, I don't want to say push because that sounds like I'm being forced to, but I've been told that it would be of my best interest to enter the GNCC this year, which is the Grand National Calling Championship. So my division would be intermediate. Now, again, I have, as of 2 days ago, I put in for application. I have not officially applied, paying a registration and everything, but I have applied with an account. So that is something I am kind of interested in doing. I don't know if I am yet. I don't know if I'm ready for that. It is something I want to do in the future. Now, I do want to compete at some point. I don't think I'm the greatest in the world, but I want to see what I could do. So, everyone kind of telling me, I guess blowing my head up, if you will, to go do this. I've kind of been looking into it. So, again, this is early talks. This is not set in stone. I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to go compete in 2026 GNCC or anything, but it is of talk. It is something that I have thought about and looked into. And again, I have kind of done the first part of an application to see what I could do and how it would be. So regardless, we would like to go to the NWTF convention. Maybe even if I apply, we would have to go. So that kind of covers 2026 for the most part. I mean, again, we have things we can discuss later. Let's talk about some of 2025 real quick. This is going to be very quick. We have deer videos that are posted and are coming. I shot a doe last night, actually. No film, no footage. I shot it in the pouring down rain. So kind of couldn't really do anything about that. But, we've had a tougher deer season than I care to admit. And more so Will than I. Will's had a I've never in my life seen anyone have a deer season like Will. Poor guy has just missed time and time again, and he just hasn't caught a break. So we're going to be filming some duck hunt videos coming up. Obviously, we just finished our first split. We killed a few. I went once. I really didn't have the ambition to go. I was too focused on deer hunting, and I still am until deer season's over. But we will be putting some duck hunting videos up. Real quick, we're going to talk about some exciting news when it comes to our channel. Gage and I, we're the ones that really do the arrowheads on this video. Me and Gage dig or look for Native American artifacts pretty regularly this time of year. Really, from the end of deer season to turkey season, we're going to be digging a lot. I mean, we put out a lot of content last year with arrowheads, whether it be shorts or regular long-form videos. And we did some in the summer as well. But with that being said, Gage and I are working on a few permissions right now that if we could get would be, without a doubt, some of the most insane footage on YouTube. Now, I know that seems like a far-fetched idea, but it's that good. And again, we have not gotten the permission yet. But if we do, this could be very, very big for those who love to watch our arrowhead videos or whatever it may be. Again, we're working on it. We're trying to figure out some different things with it. regardless, we have the places we've dug in the past. They're okay, but we're on some hot spots that we really, really want to get permission to do. So, kind of jump through that. So, the two topics today that we're going to discuss when it revolves spring turkey is social media influence on turkey hunting and hunting in general. We're going to just kind of discuss that. And this is a controversial topic, and I'm going to give my opinion on it, and you make what you want of it. And then I want to talk about some newer regulations that Will and I have talked about that we would instill if we were head of SACON DNR. We're going to talk about SACON DNR a little bit. So first off, we'll talk about social media influence. Now, the topic essentially is, has social media ruined hunting? Has it ruined turkey hunting? Has it ruined duck hunting? Is it ruining hunting in general? And my answer is, in a lot of ways, yes. And here's why, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. This is, you make your own opinion on these things. I have seen in the past, I've been turkey hunting since I was 6 years old. I'm 20 years old now, so 14 years roughly. 13, 14. So, I have seen the amount of turkey hunters almost triple since I got into turkey hunting. And that is a wild, wild thing to really think about. Not only are turkeys declining, but we have more people wanting to turkey hunt. We have more people wanting to duck hunt. All right. And I think this is a direct finger point at social media in a way. Because social media can be positive and it can be negative. And when I say that, you have people on, and I'm trying my best not to step on toes. You have people on social media that actively break regulations. They brag about breaking regulations, and it seems cool to those who follow it. You know, you have people who, again, I'm trying to word this without being harsh, I guess, who hunt just for the sole fact of taking a photo and posting it on Instagram. Taking a wild animal just to post a picture of it. They're not eating it. They're not doing it for enjoyment. They're not doing it because they love the animal and they love the chase and the pursuit. They're doing it just to take pictures of it. And these are the same ones that actively deny regulations. They constantly whine and complain that they don't have, we have too many limitations. We should be able to kill this amount of turkeys. We shouldn't be allowed, we shouldn't be kept within killing this amount of birds a year. We need to kill more. We need to raise the wood duck limit. All these things are all over social media, and it's such a negative thing. Because not only are you introducing people to hunting, which is great. I don't mind that more people hunt. That isn't the problem. But you need to have people that do it the right way. If you have people that are new to the sport, new to the industry, that are doing it the wrong way, all you're going to do is create more and more people because they're going to do it the wrong way. And then they're going to do it the wrong way. And then they're going to do it the wrong way. So it's having such a negative effect on hunting. It's honestly ridiculous. You've got channels out there, these big, huge channels who do good things for wild turkeys. You know, you've got people that they use their money to feed themselves, but they also give back. You know, it's in my belief that you get from the land what you put in. In other words, if you plant 1 million food plots, you're going to get good rewards in return. If you're going out and baiting a turkey, throwing out some corn and shooting it over corn, you're not doing anything. You're not giving the land anything back. You're just throwing some corn out to kill a turkey. And it's the same way with deer hunting. Will and I, we plant food plots every year. It don't matter if they come up or not. It don't matter if, you know, that deer eat them in 5 days. It doesn't matter if we kill one in the food plot or not. We do it every single year trying to give these deer food. We try to better the places we hunt. And again, we're not perfect when it comes to that, but my point is that we're not just throwing out corn and shooting deer over it. We're trying to help these deer. We're trying to give the land what we want to take out. So whether that be, you know, cutting unnecessary trees such as gum trees or whatever it may be, planting oaks. Gage and I are talking about restoring white oaks, going and getting white oaks and trying to make offspring of white oaks and going and restoring them, because you don't see white oaks hardly anymore. They're nowhere to be found. So regardless, it's a controversial topic. And you're going to sit here and you're going to say, well, y'all have a social media, y'all have a YouTube, and you're posting turkey hunts, so people see that and are going to want to turkey hunt. Correct. But our goal, and I said it again in the video, our goal and our mission and our purpose with this YouTube channel is to turkey hunt, but introduce those to turkey hunting in the right way. We love the wild turkey. We absolutely love them. We literally live, breathe, and sleep the wild turkey. We're constantly researching. We're constantly doing land management. We're constantly trying to figure out new ways to improve habitat, constantly trying to improve how we can be better turkey hunters and better woodsmen. When we take people turkey hunting for the first time, we took Isaac. We taught Isaac before we turkey hunted about what turkey hunting means to people. You have to respect the bird. You have to love the bird. And that's something that Isaac will keep with him for the rest of his life. We did it with Dalton. When Dalton got into turkey hunting, we kind of explained to Dalton, look, these animals are sacred, and when you finally get your hands on one, it's going to mean something to you. Now, he hadn't been able to do that yet, but Dalton truly understands and values the wild turkey, unlike most people do. And again, I think there's a difference between having a social media platform and constantly promoting negativity and promoting bad things about turkeys, and how there's people that say we need to have a hen season. That is just absolutely outrageous to say that in front of thousands of people, because that puts in their head that, well, maybe we need to have a hen season without doing any research at all. I've often said 10 hens can be bred by one gobbler, or 10 hens cannot be bred, or, good gosh, 10 hens can be bred by one gobbler. 10 gobblers can't breed one hen. We have to have hens, and the more hens we have, the better. Does it make turkey hunting harder? Sure. Is there a lot of hens sometimes? Sure. But that's what lays the egg. We need hens. Hens are far more beneficial to the wild turkey at this particular moment than a longbeard is. Longbeards do the breeding, and again, one longbeard can breed a lot of hens. So therefore, this whole notion of we need to have a hen season, and it's just things like that people just spew, that are just completely false, just completely irrelevant to the fact. If you have a social media account, promote positivity and understanding about truly what is good for the wild turkey, truly about what is good for duck hunting. These cats that go in here and shoot a wood duck limit and say, well, we need to up our wood duck limit from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. That's just outrageous. I don't understand people like that. Why do you need to kill 6 wood ducks apiece? There's no point. I would be fine with killing 1 apiece. And that's because I come from a place of thankfulness, and I'm not going to be greedy about it. If you want to go kill more turkeys than what your state allows, go to another state. Challenge yourself. In South Carolina, you can kill 2, which we're going to talk about. I disagree with. I think you should kill less than 2. But that's just me. Do I kill 2? Yes. Normally, no. Normally, I will kill 1 a year. Now, due to filming and stuff, I will kill more than 1, but I'm not killing 4 turkeys off the same property. That doesn't happen. I'm killing a bird or 2 off of each property we have, and we make sure that we understand how many birds are out there per year, and we will not take more than we need to. That's that. If we kill a bird on a place and it has 3 more longbeards, and we know that, but we don't want to kill another longbeard, we're not messing with it. Period. We're not touching it. So I think it's all about perspective, and again, I think social media in a way has ruined hunting in a negative way, but I think there's still some positivity of it. A lot of money is being raised through nonprofits and for Turkeys for Tomorrow and stuff because of social media. So there's good and there's bad. I think in a way it's ruined it, but in a way it's also helped, which is, again, our goal as Penahatchee Productions is to promote the welfare and the well-being of the wild turkey and to introduce those to turkey hunting the right way, whether it's through people we take or through viewers. We want people to do it the right way. Turkey hunting the right way is important. Not only because there's not many left, but because it's just the right thing to do. So I don't want to step on toes with that, but and again, you're going to say, well, y'all have social media, but again, our purpose is different than what a lot of people on Instagram that I see talking about these things, or on YouTube even talking about these things, and we don't have a million viewers. We just don't. So we're not plastering this stuff all over the place. And if we ever do get that good, we will never change. I hope we can plaster to millions of people that we love turkeys and we want to turkey hunt the right way and to follow your regulations and to be a gamekeeper more than a killer. So it's kind of that. Talking about some newer regulations that we would kind of implement. I don't want to, and I'm going to go back to what we were just talking about for a second too. When I say I want to kill less than 2 birds, now I'm not going to sit here and trash South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, but I do think there's a lot more needed proactivity. I mean, it feels like South Carolina's always behind the 8 ball with stuff. For example, South Carolina in the past 5 years has been struggling to harvest mature deer. Dog hunting has become awful. Literally everywhere there's dog hunters. Why do we have a full season where you can dog hunt any day you want to is beyond me. I have no idea. In South Carolina, you get sent 3 buck tags. 3. You get sent 2 doe tags. Now, you can buy more doe tags, but you get sent 2 doe tags for free, or antlerless deer tags for free. We have a huge doe overpopulation issue. Why in the world are we not given a trophy tag, a management tag, and 6 doe tags a year is beyond me. I do not understand it. And it's stuff like that that just baffles me about South Carolina DNR, that they don't change. They're so behind. States 3 and 4 years ago were reducing their limit with turkeys. South Carolina has one of the worst, I would say, bottom 5 in the country of population right now. I think the only ones that are worse are maybe like Arkansas and Louisiana. Other than that, South Carolina is poor when it comes to eastern turkeys. They're poor. Like, we have like 95,000 turkeys, which isn't good. In states like Mississippi and Alabama were reducing their limits 3 and 4 years ago. South Carolina implemented the rule changes last year. Seems like they're behind the 8 ball with stuff. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that they're not doing their job, but I feel like there's things that need to be changed that just are so overlooked. It's just simple things that can make our state as a whole when it comes to hunting better. You know, I don't know of anyone around me that turkey hunts with me that wants to kill 3 turkeys a year. I just don't. At this point in time, you really don't need to. 5 years ago, you could have probably got away with killing 3 birds. Now you can't. You know, 2 is the limit right now. And if it was me, if I'm in charge of South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, I'm changing it to 1 per year. 1, that's it. Now, other people, if you want to keep turkey hunting, take other people, introduce other people. 1 per person. 1. Everybody's complaining about the season starting later. The season starts later to give birds the opportunities to breed without being harassed. When you're turkey hunting in March, when turkeys start breeding, and you're constantly hunting them, it's hard for them to do their thing. So you're giving them birds a month to get their breeding out. Does it affect hunting? Maybe, but does that really matter? Does it matter if the long-run goal is the turkeys are going to start repopulating better and faster? I mean, that's fine with me. I don't care. I'd rather have a lot of turkeys and have a sucky hunting season than the other way around. So I would change it to 1 per year if that was me. And again, this is just all hypothetical. If I'm Grand Emperor of the DNR in South Carolina, that's what I'm doing. I'm changing it to 1 per season, 1 youth season. And I would keep the season dates the same. I don't see any problem with season dates right now. But my point is just, I feel like South Carolina is so behind the 8 ball with things, and it's turkeys, deer, it's everything. I'm not a fan of dog hunting for the reason of it's hard to grow big, mature deer when you're shooting everything. And I have dog hunted before. When I was younger, I dog hunted, and I saw people shoot everything. Spikes, 4 points, fawns, yearlings, does, everything. I mean, literally everything. Little 6 points, year and a half year old 6 point, whatever. Literally shooting everything. And to me, as someone who wants to kill big deer, I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can just kill, 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 kill. We have an overpopulation problem. Do it with rifles. I also believe that we should have an archery season and a rifle season. I don't understand why that would be an issue. It's harder to kill deer with a bow. Have 2 months of archery season and 3 months of rifle season or whatever. If it was me, my deer season would be October 1st to February 1st. That would be my deer season in South Carolina. Not in August. As much as I love mosquitoes and hunting when it's 95 degrees, I really don't. I'd much rather hunt when it's cold. That's when deer move. But again, I'm not going to step on anybody's toes. South Carolina DNR they do a good job in their own right sometimes with certain things. I applaud them for making these changes this past year, and with the no jakes and the season changes and the limit changes and reducing. I applaud them for those things. I'm grateful that they've done those things, but I do think they're behind the 8 ball when it comes to a lot of things that need to be changed, and I still think there's a lot of things that need to be changed in order to make this state what it needs to be for hunting of every kind, and that's just my opinion. One last thing I want to talk about that I kind of said earlier in the podcast, raised an eyebrow. When we went to this WMA, we hunted it like the 3rd week in April, so it's like April 20th something, maybe 18th, 19th, I can't remember. It was later in the season, and we're driving through this WMA, and you see burn places here and there, nice, pretty open pines, burn, nice and just beautiful green sprigs coming up everywhere. And you see smoke. Why is there not? I don't understand why we're burning in April and into May. And I'm not talking about private landowners doing this, because private landowners have the right to do that. I'm asking why on WMA land, National Forest, why are we burning in April? That is baffling to me. These people's life and career is about managing wild animals and the habitat in which they live. You cannot tell me that burning like that late in the spring, does not kill nests and kill poults. There's just no way it doesn't. You're burning all this thick vegetation that literally may have a nest in it. If you're going to, this is what I'm talking about with South Carolina DNR. If you're going to burn, why not burn in March? Early March, late February, right as spring's beginning to kind of come in. Right before birds start breeding. Before they laid an egg. Why not burn then? Why do you burn in April where there's nests on the ground, and by late April there's probably poults running around? That baffles me. I saw that and my heart sunk. Because this is on WMA land. This is owned and managed by South Carolina DNR. And there is fresh, smoldering burning going on in April. I do not get that. If you burned 300 acres of pines, there's a nest in those 300 acres, I guarantee it. Now that hen has to restart, redo a nest, and that nest couldn't make it. Those poults may not make it. I just don't understand that. It baffles me. So in a way, I feel like we need to have some regulation on burning. You cannot burn after this date. First week of March. After that, you can't burn until summer. I just don't get that, because by summer, poults can get away. They can fly up into a tree to get away from fire, whatever it may be. But when you're burning in the literal middle of breeding turkey season, that really and truly baffles me. I saw that and I was just amazed, because again, this isn't private landowners. There's nothing you can do about private landowners. This is on public land that is owned and managed by DNR. So that baffled me, really did. But so that kind of wraps up the first episode of 2026 Speakin Spring. We talked about 2 controversial things that, if it reaches the right audience, I'm sure will be discussed and will be negatively talked about. I had several videos last year that were negatively talked about when it comes to talking about these kind of controversial things that people were just insanely upset about. But that is what it is, right? And you can't really do anything about that. Some people are going to have their opinion either way, and there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to know your thoughts on those things. With social media ruining hunting, and the new regulations that still need to be put in place, and the whole burning in April ordeal. I want to get your opinion on that. Yeah, we kind of recapped 2025. We talked a little bit about 2026 plans as well as NWTF convention. A little bit about what's going on right now in the current, but man, we're excited. A reason to film this podcast is because I am just so ready to talk turkey hunting. I'm so excited already. We ain't even got to Christmas yet, and I am just so excited for spring turkey season. I'm so ready, and it won't be long. It really won't be long. We don't have that much longer. We've already made it through the majority of the year. Kind of, I think we're 8 months behind turkey season now, so we've kind of rounded that corner, and we're coming up on it. We're getting close. So that's the first episode of Speakin Spring 2026. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you listened all the way through. And we appreciate all the support. This is going to be a special turkey season for sure, nonetheless. And we thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and share us. Let everybody know, who we are, what we are, and we look forward to 2026. And man, we cannot wait to keep putting these podcasts out. And one more thing for this ends. Most of these this year will be video casts like they were last year, where Will and I are sitting in front of the camera talking instead of just a picture. But in this particular podcast series, I want to get it out, and this is just the best way to do it right now. But we will be on video cast for the rest of these for the most part. But with that being said, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Regardless of when this video is posted, it will be posted around that time. So with that being said, thank you for listening or watching, whatever you do. And we'll catch y'all on episode 2 of Speakin Spring.